Okay, this is going to be a very easily to follow video. Now I've got two 5-string banjos. This one's my open back gold tone Cripple Creek version CC50. Now I've tuned this one to F. So when you play, and I'm used to using a regular pick, you play down, that's an F chord instead of a G chord. There's no chords made. Now, in order for me to make a G, instead of playing it here on the 3rd fret like you normally would if you're playing a G, in order to do that, you got to bring it down here like you play an A to get my G chord. So this is my G chord here. Okay. Instead of playing this, instead of this being an A chord, this would be my G chord here too. Which means is, by doing that, I tune everything down a whole step. You can tell if this is my G note, this is my G chord here, and I take it off, then I've got to go 1, 2. So I turn everything down a full note, a full octave, a full step. So instead of going like from G, tune it down a half step to F sharp or G flat, I've turned it from a G to an F, so I take everything down a half. Now, how does that work on a banjo? One, with I use a chromatic tuner, so I can get my 440 standard in. Some tuners only tune with guitar, like this here. This particular tuner won't pick it up at all because it's just designed for guitar. So using a chromatic tuner, I can get exactly what I want, 440. So my tuning to F, that's my first string should be an F note. Next string should be a C note. F again. A. And then C again. Okay. Now, how would I go about playing if I want to take this banjo, it's tuned to F? How would I go about playing with standard bluegrass players who play in G? One, this is where Capo comes in handy. Because I tune this to F because a lot of times I like playing songs in F with the banjo. A lot of Johnny Cash stuff is in F. So I want to put this on the 2nd fret here. Remember my finger up there a while ago to show you? Okay, now, if I'm putting this on the 2nd fret, I got to take this down, also a 2nd fret. So that'll be my 1st fret here off of this nut here. This is a nut here. And I put me a smaller one. I'm using one off of Banjo Bend. That's how small it looks. And put it, make sure it's open real good. Okay, you got to look through it, okay? And you slide it on the 2nd or the 7th fret here. Okay, now, put that on 7th fret. Okay, so now this should technically be a G. Just like open G on the banjo. So I can still do the same runs if I wanted to. Now I'm playing on picks, but it should be the same exact note as a G open because I put my capo here on the 7th fret. You got to keep it 5 frets difference in order to stay relative. So wherever you're putting this top fret here, this top capo here, you got to keep it 5 frets down, no matter where you're at. So say if I want to play this in A, well that's my G there, I would put it here on the 4th fret, but I take this down 2 more. So it'd be on the 9th fret now. So slide this thing off here. It's easier when you loosen it all the way up. And on the 9th fret, so it's the one right before the dot. Now playing an A. So on my other banjo, I'm going to show you the difference too. Like I said, this was tuned to F, so I have to do everything a full step higher than what you normally would do on a banjo. So if you want to play A on the 5 string and typically gets in the G, you put it on 2nd fret. Well, because it's tuned to F, I got to play it on the 4th fret. Okay, so we got F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. Okay, so we keep this one 5 frets difference between here. So you look at 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. That keeps this note here the same as relative on this 5th fret here. Well, that's what you got to be aware. Remember where this is at? You put it on the 5th fret relative to the capo, then it's the same note. So we take it off. What the capo does is it says, okay, this is the nut, but I'm going to lower it down here. This is going to act like the nut. The nut's this white bar up here. So when I say relative to the capo or relative to the nut, basically saying, okay, we want 5 frets difference relative between the 5th string and these other ones. So now this string here, the very top, should be an F. It should be the same note as this F here. So if you try to tune this too high to get that note, you can wind up busting the string or making this come have so much tension it could pop that thing right out of there. I find this to be the best way. That people use spikes, people use a sliding capo. But after I've got a hold of one of these things, I would never go back. One, you don't permanently attach it to your banjo. It does this trick. It doesn't leave any scratches, no permanent holes drilling. I did have a sliding capo on there, and you can still see the screw holes. I had to take it off. Okay, so this is on the 5 string. I'm going to show you how to do that on 5 string. Now I'm going to show you this is on the one open back with F, and I'm going to show you on the Ibanez and G. This is my Ibanez B300, and what we're going to do is we're going to make sure this is in tune, and I do this almost every time I do a recording with my chromatic tuner. Okay, and I'm going to make sure it's tuned to the key of G. Now G means there's 3 notes. It's the 1st, 3rd, and 5th. So G, A, B, C, D. G, B, and D. That's the 1st, 3rd, and 5th. That's what's tuned to G is because the 1st, 3rd, and 5th. So the 1st string should be G. D. G, B, and D. Okay, this is tuned to G. Now, just like we did with the other one, I want to make sure there's 5 fret difference between here and here. This is on the 5th. This is basically on the 5th right there. You see that little white piece right there on your banjo. That means that's right on the 5th fret. So this note here, the very top string, or the 5th string, should sound exactly the same as the 1st string on the 5th fret. No, 7 here. So if we're going to put a capo on the 1st fret, okay, now we're sharpening all these notes a half a step. So that's going to be a G. It's going to be a D sharp. Okay, this one. So I would have to go. I still have to go here to here to here to make that noise, make the same one. But because I got this here, I can't. That's not right. You're playing in here a half step higher than this. So I have to make this little capo on the 1st fret to match it. So it's running like this. It slides on the 6th fret here to keep it 5 frets apart. So now that should be the same. So if I'll strum now, that's called either G sharp or A flat. But when you're reading music, when you're reading regular sheet music, you won't find any sheet music that says G sharp. You'll find it says A flat. So we can call it either way, G sharp or F or A flat. So what if you want that? This is considered a G sharp or A flat. So if you're going to take it down to A and you want to play like an open fingering G position, but you will play an A, then you take it down to 2nd fret here. Still keep a 5 fret difference. Now that's A. Okay, and you still when you're making your let's look at the F chord position. Let's look at the F chord position here. If I'm making the F chord position like this, okay, on the guitar it means more like this, if you will, because it's got 6 strings and whatever, but it's the same position here, except because on the guitar this is tuned to E. On the banjo it's D. So on the guitar it would sound like this open. So if I want to make that G chord, I gotta be here, here, and put the finger down here. Now that's a I like to say a closed position because you're using all 4 fingers. I mean, you can get the G like this, or you get the G like this. So you're using now in the guitar chord industry. If you think about the Cage method, C-A-G-E-D, those giving you 5 basic chords, and where you're applying them at determines what actual chord you're playing. A bar A on the 2nd fret would be a B, so to speak. Okay, it's still an A chord formation. But here, this I would recommend is this being a primary or a very strong chord, because if you're playing an F, there it is. You're playing G, there it is. You're playing A, there it is. Okay, just use it down the neck. Okay, no matter where it's at. What about the D? You can't really use a cage position on the banjo because once you go past C, you got the D chord for me. No, you got so the D is a very strong one, because then you can go, because you're using all 4 strings. There's my D. If I go down 2, there's my E, F, F sharp, G. So I can play my G chord here as well. This is my G, C, and D. So G or G, but using those chord formations. So when we think about, if I'm playing with a capo, I want to keep 5 frets difference no matter where I go at. So wherever I put this capo at, count down 5 to put this one. So because this is tuned to G, if I want to play it in B, for example, weird key to play on the banjo. Okay, I'm gonna put it on the 4th fret on this particular banjo. I've got to loosen it up some because it's getting a little thicker down there. Okay, just enough to snug it tight, and count 1 is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's on the 8th fret. They are small. You can drop them. Be careful. So we'll put this on the 8th fret right here. One, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm playing B. Okay, so if I'm playing anything this will be my. That ain't C chord no more, because I'm basing it off. This is considered my nut now, or it takes the place of my nuts. It's my capo. So this kind of gives you an idea of how many frets you need to play between the capos. Okay.